Hello everyone, here's update number 9. So what I've been doing is I've been capping and glassing. I've got all my capping done on the ends, and I'll have a video, I'll put it right here on me capping these. I usually thicken the epoxy so it sticks, because it's really hard to do corners like this when they're very sharp. Thin resins don't like to hold the glass around sharp corners. So I'll put that video in right here. And I have made, so this is one of my bulkheads right here. That's half of my bulkhead that goes in the center right here, and I've cut out a notch. So you remember, anytime I can attach the outside to the inside, that will strengthen it. So I will actually come in here and glass that slot so that my bulkhead can slide inside of that, and that gets tied in to the surface on both sides and also to my bottom piece. It's been pretty hot, so I had an old air conditioner and took some foam to where my garage door can sit down on it, and I just put that old air conditioner in here. Had to take the top part of the door where it would push against the top, so it is comfortable in here. The only downside is that any epoxy that I'm doing takes a lot longer because of the slow cure epoxy. This is the epoxy that I use, so it's the 635 thin epoxy resin from US Composites, and this is the hardener. 35 to 40 minutes. It tends to be a little bit longer than that when it's a little cooler, but generally that's about right. The only problem is once you put it down on your surface, it takes a couple of extra days in temperatures below 80 degrees. So I'll have to take these and set these outside to let them cure out. So I've done my top piece the same way with that one. I need to take that outside and put it in the sun, or at least get it outside where it's a lot hotter, so it'll go ahead and finish curing, so I can pull the peel ply off. And then once that's done, then I can come in and I can sand it to where it's level with the roof panels, and I'll put a slight radius on that. Here's where I've sort of filled in the gap that's in there with a little bit of epoxy resin and some fumed silica. It's just a thickening agent that will thicken up the epoxy. I usually tend to thicken it up to about the consistency of peanut butter. Makes it good to work with. The only problem is it's super hard. I mean, it's incredibly hard. So you want to make sure when you apply this stuff, you don't want to have a whole lot sticking out because it'll just burn through sandpaper. So I'll put these outside and pretty soon get those installed. Here's my bottom pieces that go under here. So I've got one side, I need to do the other side. Get those done. Put those on. So this is all the fiber left over from doing the sides. I would say that's probably about 10 to 12 pounds. They're small pieces. I did glass these with some of that, and I'll use some more to finish these. So I want to use as much of that as possible. Like I said, I'll probably use 80 to 90% of that. And what that does is that gives me a pretty good estimate of how much this is going to weigh, because I am using off a roll of a known weight, and I know how much resin I have. So if I keep up with all of it, then I know how much this weighs. So here's my roof panels. So what I opted to do, instead of wrapping every single one of them, was to just wrap one and then go 5 and then wrap another one, and I'll do that pretty much all the way around. So I did use some 2-part foam. This is 8-pound foam. It's pretty hard. It's a little difficult to sand, but it's pretty rigid. So it makes the weaker foam a little stronger between the joints. So it's almost like wrapping these. You've got a much stronger foam to the weaker foam. And then here's this is a mock-up of the front bulkhead, and that will go somewhere in the front right here, pretty close. It's not finished yet. I still have to do a little bit of cutting on that one to make that one fit the way I want it to fit. So everything's going good. No problems yet, other than the fact that I had to cool the garage down so I could work, and it slowed the curing time of the resin. So that's it so far. Watch out for the next. Hopefully I can get my holding fixture out of the way pretty soon. So once I get the top tied in and get my roof lines and also get the bottom in, then I won't need this anymore. Especially once I have my bulkheads in, then I don't need this. All right, that's it, and we'll see you on the next update. Later.